Can I assume everyone can hear me? Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you, Shadrach. Clearly, okay. By the way, I did not choose this background. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so we may just have to proceed. How many do we have? Seven. She's expecting 10 more students. We may have to proceed. Let's just give 2 more minutes, then we start, please. Mm. All right, guys. Hope we had a good day. Feel free to unmute or feel free to unmute. Let's catch up 1 minute before we start, please. Oluwadara, hope you are good. Suleiman, Gospel, Shadrach, Aderonke. I always want to know everyone by name before Aderonke. Aderonke, how are you doing? Aderonke, how are you doing? You guys should talk now. Kilo Shele, what's going on? Are you guys scared of talking?
Good evening,
Good evening,
class.
sir. We are not scared of
Yeah,
talking.
you guys should talk now, Abba.
We are not scared of talking, sir. Good evening, sir. Good
So,
evening, everyone.
yeah,
Good
good
evening,
evening.
Good evening,
So,
everyone.
exactly, let it be a class now because I don't want to be the only one. I'm going to be asking questions, so that's how I, I like to take my training.
Okay.
So
How
you
was
guys
today, sir?
should. Oh, it was fine. I had a good time at work today.
Oh,
I had a
how was the
good
stress?
project work. Fine, fine. We are rebranding Adidas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Rebranding something like Adidas. Something close to
Okay.
that, not really, really like that, but something close to
Like
that.
the Adidas, like Adidas.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I can privy to share a slider of it. So maybe let me share a slider of it. It's really nice, by the way. I mean, I think that's one fun thing about the job because end up doing so many, you end up doing so many kind of different projects, and especially with time when you begin to when you begin to when you begin to how do I call it grow in the industry more. as you grow in the industry more, you gain more experience, you gain more um opportunities, and perhaps do one or two things that maybe might be interesting. Something like this, but I won't stay on the screen for so long because of privacy purpose. Just cool, like cool, like cool. Yeah. I mean, it's been cool, yeah, and we are making progress. Yeah, but I'll stop sharing, sorry, because of privacy.
I didn't
But it's been
see
fine.
anything.
It's been fine, yeah. Hopefully we get to work. Okay, so guys, welcome. Who is remaining? Number eight. Okay. I think we will just start. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. So before we start, I want to ask a question. Can you just drop on the chat on a scale of just say new to product design? I'm not new to product design. I want to know how many people are new to product design, and how many people are not new to product design. So just on the chat, I'm new, I'm not new, or anyhow, just as simple as possible. I'm new, new one, new. Okay, so I have new, 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 new. I'm not new. Oluwadara. I'm new. Aderoke, not new. Tukumbo. Fairly use. Okay. Okay. So I want to start with those who are not new. So Oluwadara, can you unmute? I want to have him and or basically tell me your level, your experience. I want to know how I can narrow down this topic so that everybody will understand the next thing I want to talk. Feel free, Suleiman and Oluwadara, feel free to unmute and just for shame, tell me your experience, your level of experience, and how you began your career in product design, how you started. I just want to know, please.
Um, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, perfectly well, yeah.
Okay. So I started learning product design. No, I started with graphics as at 2021. Then at the end of
Okay,
2021, I started learning product design with YouTube videos, blah blah like that. Then as at
amazing, yeah.
2022, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah. So as at 2022, close to 2023, that was when I um I got to a design, not really a design school, but I started learning officially from probably um a boot camp like that. Then that's just majorly it. Though I have I've worked on several life projects, yeah, before now. So that's just all.
Lovely, lovely. That make more sense. Okay, so that was Suleiman, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, Oluwadara.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I
All
don't
right.
really have experience on UI UX, but I'm not new to it. I know how to use Figma. I started like 2 years back. I took some courses online. I took a course on Coursera, but I've not worked on any live projects. So I think I still have a lot to learn.
Okay, so what do you use Figma for then?
Sir,
What do you use Figma for? Do you use it for graphics, or you say you know
I
how to use
I
Figma?
go
What?
on YouTube. I go no for
All right.
yes. I follow the step-by-step process on YouTube. So I've worked on a lot.
All
So
right.
I'm
I
not new to
see.
Figma.
I see. I see. Okay. It's all right then. That's good to know the level of people. So at least it will help us to know how to navigate this training. So one thing I normally tell people is um it's one thing to know how to design using Figma, and it's another thing is to understand process of designing. So the difference between you and me is that I understand the process. So I don't just wake up and design because I want to design. I want to design because there is need for that element. So what this class we are going to focus on would be design thinking, in why you should design and why the process of designing. So feel free, the way this class would be, at any point you have question, feel free to unmute and speak, because, or you raise your hand. But sometimes I may not be able to see the chat. That's why I don't want you to depend on the chat. And that's why I'm asking you, should you have any question, feel free to unmute and ask me at it, or you write it down if you won't forget. If you will forget further, then ask the question. Then we can build from there. So what make me stand out, or more like what I'll make a good UI UX designer stand out, is your process, understanding your design process. And that's what we want to look at today. So sometimes we can stay the first two, 3 classes, we don't open Figma, not because we cannot open Figma from day one. But one thing we always advise is that we don't want to be like the regular bootcamp. We try to model our own to what Google would do, and with experience, yeah. So focusing on design thinking, let's see how we can build a good product from scratch. Then time permit us, we will look at case study, how to build a proper case study. Then we look at introduction to Figma. That's between today and tomorrow. I'm taking the class for tomorrow as well. So hopefully by the end of this class, end of these 2 modules, we should be able to touch Figma. Then we continue from there. We will work on our project and whatever thing. So guys, welcome to day 2 of this class, and we're looking at the model 3, which is design thinking process. And so let's talk about design thinking. The question would be, what is design thinking? I know some of you may have an idea what design thinking would be. Some may not have, but the idea is design thinking is about designing a product, having the users in mind. So whatever product you're designing, you have the users in mind. You're thinking of, what problem am I solving with this design that I'm doing, with this digital product that I'm designing, that I'm building. So it's more like a human-centered approach to designing, where you focus on the users, not you. I always tell people, never you design for yourself. Design for the users first. Let the users be the priority, because a product is not complete until it's being used by the user. So the end user is what determines what the product is. That's why when you go on Google Play or iStore in Play Store to look at product, and you see some feedbacks, and some of the feedbacks could have been avoided if they had used and put the users in mind before they started designing. Some cannot be avoided, because no matter how you build a product, there will still be a mistake, there will still be challenge at the end of it. And some of the challenge you only know it at the after you've launched the product. So you may not know a product is having issue until after you've launched it, but or after you've taken it to market for testing. However, the most important thing is that initially that you design for the users in mind. So once you design for the users in mind, the next thing, what you guys are seeing my screen, right? Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. You're seeing my screen now, I believe.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, sorry, but I was thinking I was sharing my screen before now. So then once you design for the users, and you make sure that you focus more on the needs of the users, not you as a designer. So when you want to introduce any element to your design, the question is, what why do you want this element? Is it really what the users want? Or is it just because I like it this way? So you must put that into consideration, that whatever thing you are introducing, that you are not doing it because that's what you want. You are doing it because that's what the users want. A minute, please. You are doing it because that's what the users want, not because that's what you want. I think just a minute, I'm trying to sort out my PowerPoint so that I'll be on the same page with all the other. Okay. All right, we can share now. It should be back, right? Are you guys seeing the screen now? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So sorry about that. Yep. So in design thinking, there are 5 stages of design thinking. Some models, some books, you'll say 7 stages, some you'll say 6, some you even see 4. But ideally, based on what I feel is industry accepted, we break it down to 5 stages. And the first stage is called empathy, where you tend to understand their users' pain points, understand their pain point. If you attended the class last week or the first class, Sumto spoke about used 2 case study, one which was in a coffee shop and the other one was a fitness application. So we're trying to solve a problem where a lady always like to get her coffee before she gets to work. Now that was a problem. That was a problem. However, there was no reliable coffee application where she could do it from the comfort of her home. So that's also a problem. So getting to understand users' problem, understanding their pain point, understanding what they are going through. Take for instance, in Nigeria, the last time I came to Nigeria, there was a full scarcity, and people were struggling to buy fuel. Take for instance, that is a problem. Now, if you want to develop a product regarding that, let's say mobile petrol station, I'm just saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying now you begin to say, okay, users are having issue queuing to buy fuel. How about I develop a solution that can make people not to queue to buy fuel when they just come in, or they can stay from at the comfort of their home, take a number so they know, okay, if I pick a slot to buy fuel, that means I'm number 10. My time slot is 10:30. That means I'll just drive in so I can now leave the house by 10 o'clock, knowing that in 10 minutes I'm already there, so I don't have to queue. That will solve the problem of having to get people queue. Now, what you've done there is you've empathized with the users, you've put yourself in their shoes, and you come out with a solution that can help reduce queue in the fuel station. Did you just notice I just came out with a wonderful solution without thinking of anything? That solution fit fly. What do you guys think?
I would like to be on that
Do you
project
guys
too.
think, do you guys think that can work in Nigeria? Seriously, that was spontaneous. That was spontaneous. Do you guys think we can do that in Nigeria? That can be a good project too. Do you think? Who will remind me? Let's put that into as a project in one of the groups you work on that. That may work, seriously. But let's talk about it later.
Can you
So what?
rephrase the question again? Can you rephrase what you just said again?
Let me see. Let me
I
see if
didn't.
I can rephrase it. Thank God this call is recorded. So what I was saying is, let's assume we are working on when I came to Nigeria last time, there was a full scarcity. And I'll say, how about we develop for us to empathize with the user, is you have to understand their pain point, understand what users are going through. So now, take for instance, those who want to buy fuel in their car generator. Now, they have to go and queue for a very long time before they can even get the fuel. Some may not even be able to buy fuel because there's so many people at the same time queuing to buy fuel. How about we develop a mobile petrol or a mobile queuing platform where you can stay from with an application. Maybe let's say you want to buy food NNPC in a particular Surulere. Then once you choose the fuel station, you can pick a slot where so that and that slot would give you a particular time where you need to come to the fuel station so that you don't have to come and queue for so long. But by the time you know, okay, my slot is slot 30, they're based on estimate plus or minus, the 30th person will finish by the 29th person will finish buying fuel by 10:20. That means my slot is 10:25. So you can choose to come there by instead of coming there by 7 a.m. in the morning, you can choose to come there by this particular time because you already have your slot. Once you come in, maybe you just scan the barcode, enter because that's your slot. So we can develop something like that, help you to reduce crowd, people queuing to buy for. I was just thinking of it and this idea came. I was thinking of what we are talking about now is called empathize, understanding users. So that means I'm developing this product because this is what users are going through. I've put myself in their shoe and I understand that this is really a gap in the market. So I feel their pain, I understand their pain point. That's where empathy comes in. That's what we call empathize. At the first stage, you must empathize with the users, understand their pain point, understand their need, know what they feel, know what they experience, know what they say, know their frustration. Yeah, so that was what I said. I believe I've explained what empathy means, right?
100%. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Lovely. So I was just saying that might be a good solution, but it may not fly in Nigeria, by the way. There are other reasons why it may not fly. There are other reasons why it may not fly because I mean so many other factors. Then after you've empathized with the user, you need to clearly define the problem, what the problem is. So now users are having issue buying fuel. What is the problem? First, it could be that there's no fuel supply. It could be that there's no adequate structure, like what I just said. It could be that there's no there's expensive, or it could be that they are not it could be other reasons. So you have to now define what the problem is truly is. So the problem is not that they are having issue buying fuel, or the problem is that there's no fuel supply, or that NNPC is not supplying this fuel to other how do they call them fuel station, or that there's no money to buy, or they have not paid salary. You need to understand. So after you've empathized, you must define what truly the problem is. Once you define what truly the problem is and you understand it, the next thing you want to do is to generate a wide range of ideas. So you begin to, that's where you ideate. It's called ideation. This is one of the most important parts of design thinking. I mean, all of them are important, but this is one of the most important parts because it's the middle part of it. This is where you brainstorm, like what we did now. We brainstorm. So I'm going to open this floor right now for everybody. Let's see how we can brainstorm. Let's assume the idea of what I spoke about is for mobile fuel station. Now I open the floor, I tell you, okay, Shadrach, what do you think we can do? Or Luadara, what do you think we can do? This idea, when we meet with as a team, we begin to brainstorm on what possible solution we can bring to solve this problem. So in this context, who are we going to talk to? Are we going to develop a solution, an application? Will it be a website? Will it be a mobile application? If we develop this application, can our mothers use them? Can our father use them? We need to understand that as well. So we begin to come up with ideas, several ideas. And in the brainstorming session, no idea is useless. Every idea has to be documented. Please take note of this because when we divide you guys into group, people will say things, some of them may be funny, but on no account should you discard any information. Make sure you document it and you place it in what we call idea bank. Once you write it down, because you'll be shocked that at the end of it, you may still come back to that information, to that idea. So after you've ideated, let's say, okay, we are going to develop a solution. That solution will be that users will stay the comfort of their home to book a slot to know when to come and queue in to buy their fuel, and they will not. The goal of it will be that they will not spend up to 10 minutes in the fuel station. The idea of they want to reduce the queuing time by 50%. Therefore, that means users can only be able to have access to the fuel station in 5 minutes to their time, or 5 minutes after after their time slot. So that means if a user was supposed to buy fuel at 10 o'clock, the gate can only open at 9:55 or 10:05. That means 5 minutes late or 5 minutes earlier. So you don't have to come and queue for so long. Meanwhile, you are taking someone else's time. Let's assume your time was for 12 o'clock and you came by 10 o'clock. That means you already, cause you're not going to help us achieve our dream, or more like our goal. So you begin to think of idea. This is more like an idea. Someone else can come up with, okay, how about we start only with Lagos and see if this will fly before we take it to Abuja and other countries. That's still an idea. People begin to come up with several ideas and ideas in several way of more like brainstorming. Someone can come, okay, this will not fly, and the person will tell, okay, this will not work. Get us a reason. In brainstorming session, whenever you say something will not work, you must tell us the reason. You must give the reason why you feel it will not work. You don't just say it no go work. Why won't it work? You must be able to explain. Then, excuse me, please. Yeah. Then someone else can say, okay, how about we do this? How about we do this? I mean, all those things are part of brainstorming session. So take note, this may not be a good idea, because you guys will need to think like critically well before you begin to come up with solution for that kind of product. It look very cumbersome, because doesn't look very, very possible in Nigeria. You get here. But I mean, it's something that we can try. Do you guys want us to try something? Do you want us to try something on this? How do we come up with ideas? Hmm. Can we try something?
Yes, we can try something.
Guys, can
We can try
let's
something
try
on this.
something. Let's try something. Let's try something. I always like it.
Yeah.
It's better we try something. It's better we try something. So we call it mobile. How do we call it? Let's say, how do we call this solution? Um, it may not be full, because you're not buying the full from the app. They're not delivering the full to you. So Q, how do we call it? A mobile
Filling,
solution to
I think it's filling
reduce.
station.
I didn't get you.
Filling station. Where do you get the fuel from?
Yeah,
I think the name is filling station.
yeah. But I mean, how do we, what, no, the idea is the major solution right now is problem we are trying to solve is to reduce Q, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we'll be looking at is what kind of solution, um, um, how can we, what kind of solution can we come up with? What are the ideas that we can come up with to help solve this problem?
Okay, so should we drop our suggestions on
You
how
can say
we
you don't need to drop, just say it. Open mute and say it. If someone wants to start.
Okay, I'm still thinking of a solution. I'll
Can you
drop
hear
mine
me?
soon.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, we need to come up with a name for the app.
Okay. I'm just going to type it. So you say name for the app.
Yes, come up with a name for the app. Then
Mm.
we do a research about the few stations around, like most active selling ones that are close
Okay.
by, their distance within different, users are different, coming from different locations. So we know how to map, connect
I'm
all together.
I'm going to type this. Okay. So You said someone said hold on. So someone said we should come up with a solution. So one person that wrote something, mobile solution on gas queue reduction. Okay. So that's fine. So go ahead, yeah. Charles, I'll come back to you. If you want to stop on mute. But continue, guy. That one T1 continue.
Okay, I said we'll go out and research on the police stations around. Look for
Research
most
on
active
filling
and
station.
the one that sells more because not all that sells like the major like NFPC, Cornell, AA Rano, and the others. So those ones that sell more are the ones that we target that can sell like 200 and customers a day. Then
Okay.
we'll create a like for different locations because users are different locations. We'll map out, create a just like when you are making you want to take a ride on a boat, depending on your
Mm-hmm.
location. So the nearest one that is close to you there, then you can
Mm.
like the thing will be like how would I say it will be like a counter that will select the closest location around you when you are looking to get a quick refill for your car or any
Okay.
appliance that you see. Then after we've
Okay.
gotten that,
So what I'll call that a geolocation service. So based on the location that you are, it will suggest the nearest fuel station for you, right?
yes, exactly.
Amazing. Wow. Go ahead, yeah.
So if we've sorted that one out,
Yeah.
then we think of how to the onboarding process, like if we scan I what I was like, if you want to get a quick refill, because it's mainly for vehicles, because like we here in Nigeria, that we some users take gallon to go and buy refill, but we make sure we target only for vehicles because that when you are selling for people that bring in gallons and others can to buy fuel, it delays those ones using car because those ones are in a more in a hurry to get the fuel and move. So it will be
Mm.
target for the vehicles users. Then I think when you are like trying to process your request, then there will be like OTP to your email address to notify you. I don't know if
Okay.
you can hear me.
That one makes sense, right? Okay. So I've
Yeah.
taken note of that. Let's give someone else chance. I've taken note of the three things you've said. Um, Ch Charles, you want to say something? Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to say the what kind of product would be sold? Would it be just fuel? If you want to buy fuel, you go through the mobile solution on gas queue reduction process, or would it also apply for gas, diesel,
Yeah,
kerosene?
yeah.
Would it apply for all those products or just for fuel?
Yes, yes, it would apply for all those solutions, but sometimes it's always ideal that we start with the a product instead of rolling out all the options at once whenever you want to
Uh-huh.
develop any solution. It's always advisable that you start with a particular product first before you roll it out to other solutions just for
So that was
testing. Once you've
oh,
achieved a good success, then you can now roll it out to diesel, roll it out to gas and everything.
okay. And that was what I just wanted to add. Like,
Okay, okay. All right. So while is it Tian or T1? Please, which one is it Tian?
Yes, Tia, Tia.
Tian, okay. Right. So while Tian was speaking, I just got an idea. So we can do it this way. We can come up with a smart fuel allocation. Let me type it. Smart fuel allocation. What this does is that it implements a system that controls how much fuel each station receives based on demand and prediction. So you can maybe on Monday just place a demand on a particular fuel station. Let's say I want to buy fuel on Tuesday. You can book in advance. You don't need to book that same day. So once you book ahead of time, um, um, you can now say, okay, this fuel station receive 100 liters every month, every day, and based on Tuesday, we already have a demand of 99 liter. That means there's no slot for you because you want to buy 20 liters, which is not remaining liter based on demand, based on what they have, is not enough for you. So that can help us also more like it's called like a smart fuel allocation, more like reducing shortage that cause panic and also long queue. We can also come up with another option where we can instead of making people to pay with cash every time, we can look for other payment platforms so that payment methods so that once they come in, sometimes payment can also be the reason why the queue is. You are looking for how to give change, and someone will now wait for like 10 minutes because there was no change for other for the particular person buying the fuel. So we can come up with those kind of solutions. Now, what we've just achieved today, right now, is called ideation. I'm going to save this because we may need this. Seriously, we may have need for this. I'm going to save this. But what we just achieved today is called ideation. That is how we do that's how we ideate. That's how we think whenever developing a product. Everything is important. You see, you begin to think. You don't shy away from sharing your idea. Don't think because you cannot share your idea. Every idea is important. Don't feel because I cannot add it. What I'm going to say does not make sense. In any design thinking, in any brainstorming session, you must always not be afraid of sharing your own idea. You never can tell how important your idea would be. Like right now, I want to just copy this thing because I feel there's a solution for that. I've just put it on my notes. There's a solution for that. Now, after we've come up with our ideas and we've finalized idea, streamline the ones we need, eradicate the ones we don't need. However, when I mean eradicate, still keep it on your idea bank. Don't throw it away because you may come back for it in the future. So now keep it. We now go to prototype. What prototype means is that we need to, it's not economical, it's not cost effective for you to just go and develop a solution when you've not tested to know if this solution, if idea would be tangible in the market. Let's assume this idea that we just come up with right now. Imagine we just go ahead and begin to design. We now look for developers, pay them to develop it, and we now take it to the market. Behold, it was not necessary. You spent your money, you spent your time, you've done everything. You spend millions of naira, and only for you to discover that this idea is not viable in the market. How would you feel? So that is where prototype comes in. You have to build a prototype of this solution. And one of the way to build prototype is to design a wireframe. I think we have that in one of the class. I don't think it's tomorrow's class. I think it's next week where we do a wireframe, build a complete wireframe, do the prototyping where you can test your solution. You can test your product even before you take it to the market. So you test your product, test and see if it will work. And let me see if I can show you guys a simple wireframe. Mm, wireframe of some project here. Okay, lovely. I have a wireframe of a project here. Now, this is what I mean by wireframe. Let me see if I can play this. Sorry. This is a wireframe. So this is not really the product itself, but what we just did there is to build something. I just did a design of, okay, what I'm proposing. So when a user, this is an onboarding. If a user come in, put the phone number, will receive what, enter the PIN, what's your email. We just do a prototype. You share this. This is the prototype that we send to the users, to send to people to test. Let's test this thing, or share with your stakeholders, share with your team members. Let's see how we can come up with something. For now, this is a product for people in Australia. It's a transfer, it's a transaction, it's a fintech app in Australia. So we come up with a solution. Now let's test this thing without even developing, to see if this will fly in the market. After we've tested it, this is at this point we can make corrections, correct the screens. The screen is not coming out well. I don't like the screen. Can we adjust this? Can we change the text? Can we do this? Can we do this? This is the payments page. How it's going to be like proposed payment page. Can we change here? What do we change? But the idea that you've built a prototype of what you are proposing to your to the people, and once they see that, okay, this might be okay, and you need to take note that prototype does not need to be very sophisticated. It shouldn't be something simple, one color. It's just a wireframe, just simple as it, like as simple as it should be. Don't go too far. Don't stress yourself, because imagine I begin to add so many colors and everything, spend days to design this screen, only for them to say, oh, this screen is not necessary. You've wasted your time. Prototype has to be as simple as possible. Come up with something idea, come up with something simple, just as easy as possible. If you can even sketch with, if you can sketch with pen and paper, you can. There was I think one of the 1 year with this pen and paper, but you don't really need to do with pen and paper. But I'm just saying, if, let me see if I have the pen and paper on here. The case study, I think it's on the case study that we have pen and paper. So you don't really need to, yeah, somewhere here. This is how I started it. This was when I was presenting to the stakeholders, the owner of the product. This was how I presented it. Just do some sketch. You understand? You can do some sketch, do everything. Then if they still don't understand, but I mean, it's ideal to do the other one, but you can do a sketch, come up with a prototype, show them what you are trying to pass. This is what I'm trying to communicate. This is how I'm proposing this should be. Once you are done with your sketches and you feel okay that this sketch would fly, you can develop a you can develop a a high fidelity design to show them what you are doing or what you've done. Then at this point, you can do a proper design like this, maybe something like this, share with the users. You guys will test it yourself. You can test it, your team test it, get few people to test it. Do as if you want to do a transaction. Just watch how they are doing. There are many ways to test, by the way. We'll do that later in the day, later in the course of this class. I think, yeah, do some testing, see what you can do, see what the users are feeling, see if there's any way you come back and correct it. Once you guys feel that this can fly, the stakeholders accept what you have done, the product owner, the product manager, because you're not going to work alone. In every product, there's a product manager, there's like a product owner. There are other stakeholders like engineers, developers, and user research team in a very big team. You may have people that handle the research. You may not even do the research yourself. You may only be doing design. In some team, you may be the one to do research. Other people do design. So you must learn the two, because that's why it's called UI UX. UI UX in some companies, industry, some people focus only on UI, while others focus only on UX. So you may not be doing the same thing. They both rather, but mostly in Nigeria, you do the UI and UX alone. Yeah, but you must know the two, because you don't limit yourself to only UI and forget the UX part of it. So so you just come up with a low fidelity prototype, just come up with things, think of how it will be. This particular product, this one, I didn't really do so much when I was changing it to high fidelity, because I tried to as much as possible to stay close to, because the people who I was presenting to did not really have so much idea of what I wanted to achieve. So I try as much as possible to stay to be so close to what I'm trying to portray so that they will understand. Because if the people you are trying to explain to are not very tech savvy or they are not really understanding what you are presenting, using only paper sketch may not really pass the information you are trying to. You guys understand me, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Okay.
understand you.
Okay, so sometimes I'm not, so whenever, of course, this is a standard, this is how you should follow, but there are some times that you are trying to pass information to people that you feel these guys, if I show them only paper sketch, they will not get the idea. So you can try as much as possible to stay on. It's called mid fidelity. This is a mid fidelity. It's not really a low fidelity because I'm very close to the high fidelity. If I show you the difference between this design and the other one, let me see if I can show you the screen itself, that particular design. You see that there's not so much different in that place. See the design here. You see the design. See what we finally accepted in this place. It just looks so close to this, right? They don't really go too far. So that's more like a mid fidelity. So you just have to you can try and stay at the mid fidelity depending on the scope of your product or project that you are trying to present. Then just come on, do it. Once you've done it and you feel that the users can test, you can now share with the users that okay, this is what I've come up with, this is what we've agreed, and this is it. And the test, once you're done with your testing and everything is fine, then when you're done with your prototype, you now move to your testing. It's a way you gather feedback. You gather feedback. And remember that this is a complete cycle. So you can move from testing back again to redefine what your users are going through. Sometimes, not always the case, but sometimes you can realize that when at the point of testing your product, which is more like after you build your prototype and you test it, you realize that even what you felt that users were going through was not really the main issue. So you felt what you perceive was their problem was not really what their problem was. So you now come back again and re-empathize with them and begin to think, okay, so that means this was not really what the users were going through. I missed it. And you re-empathize with them, understand their pain points more. Then once you've done that, that's more like a complete cycle of design thinking. And how do you empathize? Like I said again, I've already given you a summary, but I'll just give you a guide. User interviews, you have to speak with your users, one-on-one interviews, questionnaires. How many of you guys have been given something you've tested any products before? You have someone who have tested a product here before? Anyone like that? Okay, no one. But has anyone approached you before to give you like a questionnaire to fill, maybe project, maybe something, just ask you to fill a questionnaire? Anyone like that? Have you guys experienced something like that? Yeah.
Yes, it's still a question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. We've seen one of them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
So let's
hold on.
see. Yeah. Someone is asking a question. Yes, you can get the material. You can get the class material later. Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can get the material of the class here. All right. So, Charles, did you raise your hand or was it regarding what I asked?
Yes, it was regarding the question that he asked if we've taken surveys or questionnaires.
Okay, yeah. So you see surveys and questionnaires, sometimes it's one-on-one interview, like in this particular project. Let me show you the case study. This particular project, let me see if I can present the case study that we're showing. Always try to show a live project just so we can see how to present a case study. No, not this one, sorry. Okay, this is it. So this was designing a seamless money transfer experience. Yeah. What we did was user research. I want to see a case study. Forget about my role, the context. It was about to build a design for leave this one. I want to see the proper case study. Nigerians in diaspora, also design research. Okay, so we lack understanding. So first of all, we lack understanding of what the users really wanted and they need. This is like empathize. See how we presented this case study to users, to the stakeholders. And immediately after we finished this, we wanted to understand their frustration, wanted to know what their pain point was, what they really said, and what they needed. So what we did was to conduct user interview, and we connected with 25 individuals, right? Like I said earlier, conduct interviews one-on-one, and we also did a survey. Then this is typical way of conducting an interview. Like now, surveys, like I said, interviews, then also a group interview. So some people, you can gather some people in the group, ask questions, just begin to get their feedback, and you document their feedback. So it could be in any way you want to conduct your interview. Then what do we do? Some of the questions you would ask, you can analyze them into mapping, put them into empathy map, affinity mapping, begin to see how you can gather this, synthesize this feedback that you've gathered from the users. You begin to get them. Once you've done that, you need to, the only thing you need to do is to write them. You begin to, after you've gathered your insight, there's no way you will not know what their problem is. You begin to write down their problems. This one will tell you, okay, while I was trying to maybe make transfer, this happened, or this is the current frustration I'm having in the market. And while I'm trying to send money to this is the problem I'm having. Once you understand what the problem is, you write it down. You're now building your solution based on the problem you've gathered, right? You are not building your solution based on what you feel the users want, but what you've identified that the problem is. So in this case, we identified what the problem was, and what we did was to begin to develop what we now want to focus on our product would be to focus on what the problem we've identified is, which was make sure that the money is delivered within a particular time, make sure there was a transparency in fee, make sure that there's a seamless onboarding process, make sure that the exchange rate is secured and everything. Like we come up with a streamlined solution. Then after you've done that, let me see if I wanted to show you something. Not here. I thought I have it here on this one. I don't have it here. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I've seen it. It's towards the end. Look at it here. So, towards the end. Sorry, I just want to see something and show you guys. Talking about how to analyze feedback. I think I have it on one of the screens here. Okay, so see this. Some of the questions we ask the users after we've developed it, like for testing, how important was this thing to you? Some users, you may be shocked that you may feel that when people may want to understand tracking, how to track my money, but that in the end of it, that was not even an important feature. You see how most people that choose that this feature was important, see the number of people that choose that it was important. So it was not even, we thought that would be important, but based on research, it showed that this was not important at all. So you may think, oh, this is going to be nice idea. You take it to the market, you test in the market and realize that nobody, they did not even want it, they don't like it, or that is not a relevant feature. You understand? So what you feel is a key selling point in your product may end up not even being important at all. So that's why testing is very important. That's why feedback research is very important in any product you are building. That's why the current group, the students they are presenting, one of the things they spend more time on their research. That's why they have not finished some of their screens up to now, because we make sure that they do more research rather than having to just wake up and start designing. If it was designed, they would have finished since. But that's not what we want. We want to show them the right thing to do, so that when they go to the marketplace, they can scale through in the long run, not just having to go and design. Everybody can design. But if you want to grow, if you want to scale in the career, you must understand how to carry that research properly to come up with your design. Because nobody will ask you how your design was. They ask you, how did you come up with this? The question would always be, how did you come up with this? Begin to say, okay, we carried out research with 100 people and we're able to discover that 90 of them said this is important. 90 of them said they don't really need this. So you are now backing up your element. When I mean element, the feature you are introducing into your design with data, not just doing it because you want to design or you feel like. Is that okay, guys? So you see this one.
Yes.
Yeah,
You see
sir.
this one, yeah. Yeah, ask question, please. Go ahead. Okay, you said yes, sir. Yeah. So you see, like this one, we ask a question like, how do you feel about the application? 0% said they will never use them. So that was a good one. 86% said it was easy to use. 35% said, oh, I'll use it daily. 3% said, well, difficult to use. It shows that means some people still find it difficult. It might be very small, 3%, but we can now focus on these 3 people to and ask them more questions. Okay, let's look at how was it difficult to use, to see if it has to do with the application or it's just that it could be someone like my mother or maybe my father who just struggle with using technology. You understand? So we also need to, you don't ignore this feedback. If you can ask the people more question, okay, so what was really the issue? It could just be that it was just them, it's not have to do with the product. But even with that, maybe because they struggle to read English, maybe you can even look for another language, a multi-language platform where you can now when you come on the platform, you choose what language you want to operate it on. You understand that people that may be struggling to use and read English, but they can read with Australian language and just Australian speak English too. I'm just giving an idea. It could be someone in the northern part of Nigeria who cannot read English but can read out Hausa. So you can introduce a local language to your project. Those are things that solve. That's how you can solve users' problems. It's called empathy. Empathize with them at every stage of your design. Think of what would help them at every stage of your design. So once you've done that, because you've gathered their feedback and everything, the next thing we'll do for you, the next thing you now do is to, I've spoken about empathy. I think I've spoken about almost everything. You define, I've spoken about define already. So where you talk about problem statements, techniques, how to create, how might we solve this problem? I've done that already. We spoke about idea. We spoke about idea where we talk about how you can brainstorm with your team. There are other methods in ideation, by the way. Let me use this script. So substitute. Substitution is like you come up with your idea, come up with my own. We begin to sort them. It's like a card sorting system. So in card sorting, you can come up with you can have 5 cards. Shedrack has 5 cards, Tian 5 cards, Aderonke 5 cards, Doherty 5 cards, then Charles 5 cards. Then we now write down your idea. You come up with your idea. Each of the ideas on different cards, you drop them. So we sort them together so that you will not use. Let's assume you have a personal issue with Aderonke, and you say no, any idea that she brings you will not accept. So you collect all the idea without reading it together, put them together, sort it, begin to tell, okay, this is what this is what this card says. You begin to group them by similarities and see which one will fly. After we've sort the ones we want, we eliminate the other ones that we don't want, adopt the ones we want, combine 2 cards if they look similar, they mean the same thing. We combine them, staple them together, place them on the wall, begin to brainstorm based on those ideas on the card. It's called card sorting. So there's another one we call Crazy 8 method. Crazy 8 method is quite cool. So you generate 8 ideas in 8 minutes. That means 1 minute per idea, 1 minute per idea. The reason behind this is so that the longer you stay in an idea, the more you end up forgetting so many things. But those stand-up kind of meeting where you don't really need to sit down, we just stand up like, okay, come up with something spontaneous. You realize that sometimes you make more sense in that aspect, in that more, like, how do I call it? You make more sense that way than when you begin to go back home and begin to brainstorm on things. Like what the idea came up this when we just started the class. You see how spontaneous it was because I was not thinking of it. It just came up and I was on point. When I knew that it makes sense, I had to actually get let's talk about this idea. More like that's how it is. So that's ideation. There are so many techniques to avoid. I will share this slide with you guys later. We have prototype where we talk about sketching. Like I said earlier, you come up with a sketch, design what you want, paper. You can use so many things to do sketch, like FigJam. We introduce guys to FigJam when we are doing sketching. I think it's okay that is taking sketching. We introduce you to FigJam. We introduce you to other sketching platforms. You can use Miro. You will check this thing. I have all of them. Miro, most of them are free to use. FigJam. I mean, there are so many other sketching platforms. You can even use your iPad to sketch. It doesn't need to be perfect. I prefer to use paper, by the way. I use paper to sketch. It's cool for me. I don't use tab to sketch. I prefer to use paper, but whichever one works for you. But yeah, why I'm more comfortable with paper is because I started with it. I did not have tablets then, so I'm now used to using paper to sketch. I'm not so comfortable using this tablet up to now, seriously, to sketch. Quick one, I will just use my pen and paper. It's always with me. My ruler, sketch what I want to sketch, and I'm done. So testing, like I said, we test your product. There are many ways to test product. We have usability testing where you watch the user use the product. Then you have A/B testing where you develop two types of the product. So you develop product A and product B, and you test this product and see which one is more okay. Okay, and you test what is more reliable and which one the users use more, add more results more. Okay, so someone asked a question. Yeah, it said this this low fidelity and high fidelity, what is the simpler explanation to it? Okay, so we have three types of fidelity. Let me use the word fidelity. We have low fidelity, we have mid fidelity, and we have high fidelity. Excuse me, let me write it so you can see. Low, mid, and high fidelity. Yeah, high fidelity. High fidelity. So low fidelity is this. I've always preferred to show example than just designing to show example. Hopefully I have a very low fidelity prototype in my workspace. Let me see if I have a very low fidelity. Mm. Mm. Hold on, please. I think I have one. Shadrach, it's because of you I'm showing this. I'll use that question to show guys. I know this is not what we're supposed to do today, but I mean it's better we do it. This is a very low fidelity design. Have you seen this? It's a very low fidelity prototype of a project. So what you do is you don't really have text, no text in it, no just shapes trying to explain what you're trying to pass through to your users. Something like this, and just show them, okay, this place is this is where the product would be, Product will be here. You not really use any image, just one color, two color to show them. It's like a very low, it's called low fidelity. You are trying to prototype what the product you want to come out with, but you just make it in such a way that we can tell you, okay, no, we will not like it to be this way. Excuse me, please, can you make it something that can be slide? Can you make it something like they'll just come up with certain ideas that you can tell, okay, this is for menu, this menu. So you're not really doing any design much, you're just showing a guide. Just this is a very low fidelity in prototype, Shadrach. Then we have a mid fidelity. Mid fidelity was the one I showed to you that time. This is my wireframe. Mid fidelity was the one I showed to you. To an extent, I've added some text to it. I've added a bit close to what I'm trying to it's very close to the final screen. Sorry. Check this. This is very close to the final screen. So I've written almost the same text I wanted to, because I already had the idea of what they wanted. I had the content already. So when I got the content was there, just that the research was not done. So I got the content. I was able to pick from their content book, use that to develop the home screen and everything. So we knew what we wanted to achieve, but I did not just want to start designing the final screen without this, because what if they want to make corrections and everything. So this is the middle fidelity, not a not a not a this is a middle fidelity, very close to what you are trying to. I've added text, I've added image, not really text, more like text here, not really image, text, to what the users would to almost how the final screen would be. Because if you see this and the final screen, you see that there's not so much difference. Let me look for the final screen, I'll show you. Oh, sorry, please. Okay. Now you see that we're not so far from what this is saying, and what this is saying is not very far. You can see, right, children? So this is a middle fidelity and this is a high fidelity. Children, is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's wonderful, sir. I'm seeing it and I'm getting to get the clear picture, sir. Thank you, sir.
And this is a low fidelity. This one, you're not really passing much information. So many people may struggle to grasp what you were trying to say. This is more like an e-commerce project. I'm sure this was e-commerce, yeah. Yeah, this was e-commerce, yeah. Where they have these are some of the products here and everything. This is the featured product, and so the more ideally it's advisable you stick to maybe the low and middle fidelity first, if you can, depending on the scope of your product, what you're working on. Imagine this is about how many screens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, 12, 12, 12. That's about in 12, 12. This is about almost 60 screens or 70 screens thereabout. More than that, imagine you went ahead to design a product, a sound screen product, only for you to realize they say they don't like the product. What happens? They don't like what you did. What happened? You made a mistake. You need to start correcting it. That's why it's advisable if you present on a low or a middle fidelity first. They should see what you are trying to pass. It is at the point that they feel that they are okay, then you can go ahead and do the high fidelity. Alternatively, there are some sorry to there are some states that you don't have to go through this. There are some products that have already given you how do I call it? There are some products that the users will give you what they want. They already send a screenshot. Like one of the project I'm working with, you notice on the group, I sent a message for people to join me work on something yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw the group. I said I did not want this current set. It was for a reason. I sent a message. I said, people, where is it? I want to show you guys something. Those guys already sent you a screenshot of every screen of the one. They told you they told us duplicate this screen for us. They told us this is what I want, duplicate this thing for me. So in that case, in those kind of products, you don't really do so much because they have told you what they want. This is it. They already tell you, okay, this is what we want. They send a screenshot of everything. On the home page, do this one. On the about us page, do this one. On this, do this one. On this, do this one. In that case, see on the landing page, they've sent every screenshot of what they want already. This is a screenshot of what they want. They want us to design something like this for them. And they say this is what we want. I don't know where they got this from. That's not our business, but because they want you to design it. So it's now left for us to come up with an idea and design something close to that. So in that case, you don't really need to do so much like research and everything and all this stuff and all this stuff. You don't really need to do so much because they have already put you in a tight corner telling you, do this for us. So they only come to contract you, and you get most of this kind of job if you are freelancing. I don't freelance, but I mean, this one just came. This one off of this kind of job that came in, and it's not really. Let's not go there. But those kind of in this kind of case, in this context, you may not really do so much. But even with that, we still did our case study. I still have to do a user research briefly. It was just 3 weeks. We did some user research, which is this. I cannot share this with you because of non-disclosure agreement for now. Yeah. So those kind of projects may come that you don't have to do so much, but not always the case. Not always the case. But if it does come, then you don't have to follow through those normal procedure. Just go and do their designs for them. In most cases, they'll give you a design guide already, their style guide, so you don't even need to think of color. They've given you everything they want. So if that one happens, fine, do your job and go. But you won't always see that way. If you are doing it if you work for most companies, like they employ you as a staff, then you definitely have to follow the procedure. I think I've answered that question.
Yes, sir. You've answered the question, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I still have one more question, sir.
Bring it on, please.
Yes, sir. You made mention concerning the testing, where after doing all the design and everything, we send it to customers to see their experience and get their feedback.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, how do we send it? Is it that we are sending it in form of a PDF?
Okay, this is how you send it. This is how you send. Let me show you how to send a screen to your users. I'm still going to use the one we used right today because that one is open. I can share that one with you guys. So there's what we call prototyping. The prototyping is that you make it 100% responsive. 100% responsive in terms of if you click on okay, I think I've not done the prototype for this, but let me show you guys how to do a prototype. Let's assume, see this, you guys are taking me far from the class today. This is a senior level class this is supposed to be towards the end of the class. Now check this. There's a called prototype. If I want, when users come here, I want them, if they click on English, there should be a drop down to show them what you drag it to tell them where it will go. Now, see, Shedra, let's not go there. You guys will take us, it will take me too far into, I don't want to be confusing you guys, but it is what we call prototyping. You can prototype, after you finish prototyping, you can click share. You share the prototype. So it's that show that it look like an application. The same way you use an application on your phone. Once you click on that, it will look as if it's a real application. So you've already connected every of the points to make sure if you click on this, this is what you want the user to see, this rate. There's a screen that shows rates. So once you're on prototype and the user click on this rate on the prototyping link you've sent, it will work the same way to work on an application.
Yes, sir. Thank
You
you very
get
much,
my,
sir.
yeah.
Understood, sir.
So that is what you share,
Sir.
not the final. So you've not designed, you've not paid anyone to do any design for you. It is that one where it's a fail screen. Okay, your transaction was not successful. This was happened. Everything you've done, all the screens you want to be for the user. You've connected all the screens. So once the user click on this next, it will take them to the next page. If the user want to do transaction, the user want to edit their name, you click on the name edit. Because you've linked the, if you click on name edit, it will show you an empty space or where your name is currently at. So the user may not have to even type the name in. It may not work that way, but at least you will see that this is place for to type name. After you've typed your name, you say done, save. When you click on that save, what screen do you want the user to see in the real application? That's the same screen that it will take the user to, because you've linked it already. Prototyping is a whole lot of work when you are done designing, because you must connect all the screens. So that's always the last thing. That is what you send to your users to test. I don't want to start doing that now because we've not even done introduction to Figma. So we cannot go to we cannot go to prototyping now. That's almost the last thing. But you send your prototype to send the prototyping link to the users, not the final design, not the final developed product, because you cannot pay people to develop product you've not tested. Is that okay? I must see my space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Project.
Let's go, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any other question, guys? All right. So I want us to do a breakout session. I'll break you guys into how many are we? I'll break you guys into groups. We are going to have a classwork right now today. It's called a breakout session. I'll break you guys into 2 groups. Okay. So you will just see that you'll be in 2 groups automatically. Yeah, you just see that you'll be in 2 groups. So what we are going to do would be, look at this. You guys should look at this because I want you guys to come up with your solution. Everybody has to participate, and you now choose one person to present. Problem statement. Each group should formulate a problem statement for a given user called Sam. We are looking at Samuel or Sam, however you want to call the person. Now, come up with a solution. For example, Sam needs a way to stay organized because his busy schedule makes him forget appointments. Now, this is a sample of my own. You guys should come up with a different solution. My own, I'm looking at the appointment. You can think of something, maybe fitness, don't think of fitness because I've given you an idea already. Now, look at Sam. Come up with a problem statement and how you want to solve problem for Sam. Is that okay, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
Please, please don't run away. Don't shy away from this thing. We are going to create you guys now, and I'll break the group in, and I'll call you guys back in 10 minutes. Come up with a solution for Samuel. Sam need this. So make sure you write. Someone should write. Someone will present. Check out that I see my solution now. Samuel, see my problem statement. Samuel needs a way to stay organized because his busy schedule makes him forget appointment. That's simple. Now, how do I now solve the problem? I've not given you guys how to solve the problem, but at least I've shown you how to write a problem statement like this. Someone needs a way to stay organized. So by the time this is a problem, now how do you solve that problem? Come up with something. I want us to put into practice design thinking, what we just did today. In 10 minutes, you guys are going to go on the group right now. I'll break the group back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Victor, can you join the group? You're not joining. Abubakar, Derunke, you guys are not joining your group. Victor, are you here? Can you join your group? Suleiman, can you join your group? Are they okay?
No, I got disconnected and I could not join the group back. I don't know if you can
Sorry,
join.
I've added you to the group. Sorry, you were in group 2. So sorry about that. I did not even see you until now.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much.
You're
Yes.
welcome. Which group want to go first?
Adewara, please, can you go for us?
All right. Please, Adewara, we are waiting.
It looks like she left.
Voila.
She left and Victor also left. They are both in our group.
Okay, perhaps it could be network. Does anybody want to go? Okay, Victor is back. Adewara is back as well.
Yes, they are both back.
Yeah. Who want to go first?
Adewara, please go for us now. Let's hear what we've
Okay. Hi, good evening. According to what we discussed in our group, we came up with a problem for Sam, and we got
Yeah.
to find a solution. So Sam is a
Amazing.
graduate in Lagos, but he lives on the mainland and works on the island in a bank as a cashier.
Okay.
Can you hear me? So he
Yeah.
works in a bank as a cashier, and there's always a problem for Sam. Cause getting home is always like, you know how crazy Lagos traffic can be. Getting home is always having issue getting like a homemade food to eat. He has always been craving, like he's a single guy, he has to like go outside in the evening, gets probably maybe suya, maybe noodles to eat in the night, but that's not his craving. So
Okay.
fortunately for Sam, he was introduced to an app where he can actually order an homemade meal, sorry, before he gets home. So all he has to do is just gets from on his way coming from the island, sorry, from work. All he
Yeah.
has to do is just maybe place an order. Okay, I want amala with eforiro with orishirishi. Then it has to be in my doorstep or with the gate man. In the next 2 minutes, I will be home.
All right.
So the
Amazing.
solution is
Amazing.
him getting what he wants before he even gets home in the next 2 minutes.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So what do you
Yes, sir.
remember who and who was in your group?
Um,
Charles, I'm in the group.
All right.
Charles
Okay. Now,
was in the group.
okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm
Okay,
going to, at the end of this call, I'm going to
okay,
create a group call. We are going to call this group homemade food.
okay,
Homemade food. So if you are in homemade food, if that was your group,
okay,
request to join that group. That will be your project for the group. We are not starting the project, but that is going to be your project. We are going to work on part of your project. We are going to come up with
Adewara, see
a
what you've got for us.
I love it, and I love it, and that's going to be your project. I don't know. You guys will look for a name for your group later. Let me just call it homemade so that I remember homemade food.
O-
I'm going to have a meeting with you guys
okay,
later. Adewara, I'm
okay,
going to make you an
yeah,
admin of that group. Then it's still under the same community, but so
yes,
that I
yes,
don't want everybody will not be able to join at least until when we you know people that are in your group, so you just know who to add on the group later.
okay, sir.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's hear from other group. Who else? Other group?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. We are here, sir.
Yeah, please proceed.
Okay. The topic we came up with is Samuel always wake up late and goes to school late due to his home activities. Do I need to explain the ideology of how we
Yes, please.
generate?
Yes.
Okay, so we came about the idea of how a student would always go to school late due to some several factors, or will I call it problems associated with that. And some of the
Yeah.
problems we came up with that is that in cases where he stays up late at night playing video games,
Mm,
or in cases whereby he treks to school and thereby making him arrive late. to school. We also say that in cases where he does his house chores late at night or in the morning when everybody have gone to school.
Yeah.
And we also arrive at with the problem that he also eats late, which makes him also stay late at night. And lastly, playing of video games to the late hours at night. So
Are you talking about yourself or what?
not really, not really. This is a group
Okay.
discussion.
Don't mind me, just to make it clear, yeah. Because
But I think
all right.
we try to come about something that is realistic, what people can be found wanting, so you can relate to it as a student.
All right,
So
yeah.
yes, so
Okay.
the solution we came up with is setting of alarms. You know, as a student, you need to set alarms that, okay, I'm supposed to sleep by this particular time. So whenever I'm playing a video game, I know that, okay, once it's 8 o'clock, once the alarm rings, we know that, okay, it's bedtime. Or also, watching TV late at night also, once the alarm rings, you know that, okay, it's bedtime already. So setting or set alarms, that is one of the solution. And also creating a to-do list. For instance, all the activities you want to achieve for a particular day, you just try to, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So creating a to-do list of all the activities you have to do in a particular day to watch or keep track of everything you have to do to avoid sleeping late. So if I'm to go to what's the mobile design now, so I'll say creating an app that is in form of an alarm.
Yeah.
That would always want to keep track of everything. Once you know it's time for bedtime, you know it's late time to play your video games, do your house chores, you know that, okay, the alarm has rang and it's time to go to bed. Or also,
Yeah.
to-do list, also creating an app that keeps just like a notepad that would always, once you are done with this particular work, you just write it out. Yes, I'm done with this particular work for today. I'm done with this particular work for today. So creating a to-do list like a form of a notepad that would help you keep track of the activities you have to do for every particular day. So that was what we were able to come up
Okay.
with.
Okay. So that's a nice idea, but it doesn't look like, I think we need to rearrange that idea. I'm not going to give you guys that as a project. But if we want to look at that, if we want to rearrange it, we should look at a to-do list. It could be a to-do, like a to-do application where users have to come in, queue in, input all your activities for the week, for the day, for the year, and everything. And it keeps reminding you of that activity. Then the feature you will now include will be set that automated alarm, all those ones and everything. Those may be the feature rather that you implement in that. I think that would work if you want to follow that concept. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
but we are not going to use that as your project. We will look for, maybe in the course of in our training, we will know what your project would be. But you know the people that was in your group. Now I want to add you guys now, please. If you go on the while we are on call right now, we are almost ending the call. While we are on call right now, please go. If you were in Shedra's group, this group, that the last group, now that's group 5, request to join that group immediately. Please request to join the group immediately. On the community, you see a group. We need to add you guys right now, please. Please, I need you guys to join the group immediately because we have to. If you were in the other one, this group 4, you see, I've in group 4. If you were in
Sorry, sir.
Adewara's group,
Hold on, a quick one. I can't see the link to the group. I'm actually on my system and I'm trying to
On the community, click
yes,
on the
yes.
community, you
I'm
see. Yeah.
community.
On the community, you'll see like all the channels on all the groups on the
Okay, so
community.
group, what are we? Group 5,
If
right?
you were in Shedra's group, this group 5. If you were in Adewara's group, it's group 4. You see group 4, Afric Foodie. I've given you guys a name. Afric Foodie. Lovely. So Adewara, I'm going to make you the admin for the group. If we will add other people on the group as time goes on. I don't know. We're supposed to have like it's going to be about 8 thereabout, so that you can add other people for this project because Bayaf, you look for, I don't know who would be your project no, let me not make you an admin. You guys will decide who will be your project team lead, and Chedra's will choose who will be the project team lead when we come in. So I will not decide right now. So as we keep progressing, we would know what to do. Just know that we are not starting projects now, but I want you guys to prepare that there will be a whole lot of everything we are going to do. You guys will be narrowing down to your project, see how it's going to be, so that by the time you do your personal project as well, it will not be conflicting because you also do your personal project. Yeah, it's all right. Suleiman, you've been quiet. Are you all right? Victor, you've been quiet. I think Victor, you just joined us today. How are you
Yeah,
doing,
I'm fine,
Victor?
sir. I'm good.
Where's Victor? Victor, are you okay? Which group are you, Victor? Okay. I think he's not on this call. Doherty inventory. How are you doing, Doherty?
I'm fine. I'm the one talking since. Don't worry, it's okay. That's my work system. I'm just trying to use it to log on.
Okay.
So I'm still at work at the moment.
Oh,
When I get home, I'll use my
oh, really? It's okay. What's your name? Sorry.
Manuel.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Enze.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's your name. You that was you're supposed to be with us last time,
Yes,
right?
yes,
I
yes.
remember you have, yeah, I remember you, yeah. I remember, yeah. Right. I think I'm good with names. Oluwadara, are you in a place you
I'm
can
sorry,
talk?
Oluwada is in my group, but I've not been saying anything since.
You've not been saying anything, right?
Yeah, he has not been saying anything, or she, I don't know.
Sorry, Oluwadara is who? I didn't get you.
The person is in my group, but didn't say anything, like was just
She
there. I
didn't
don't know
say.
why.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know
I
as
don't know
well,
if
and she's
he's
still
a
quiet.
she.
Even if she's where there's noisy, she should be able to send a message, at least a chat, or this or this. Well, it's
Yes.
okay. We will see to that. I mean, we always. It's okay. Maybe she's quite busy, but I mean, she should drop a chat. Oh, I cannot talk, or at least well, it's all right. Let's build up from this. So, guys, I don't know who I have missed adding to the group, but we will compile the group later, add more people to the group. Tomorrow we meet again tomorrow, guys. And please endeavor to download Figma. If you don't have Figma, get your laptop because we're going to start introduction to Figma tomorrow, and the class start by 5 p.m. We also need to know that we've not yet agreed if it's going to be 5 p.m. every time because I need to speak with all the mentors to know if they're available. But for me, tomorrow I'm taking the class, so I can do 5 p.m. with everybody. But I will see what happens subsequently. Chances are that we may not be able to do every time 5 p.m. But there's a possibility that it will be 5 p.m. going forward. Let's see if it will be conducive for everybody and the mentors, then we pick up from there. Yeah, is that okay, guys?